Every week, a new band. Brought to you by NZ On Air. Active Life! Yeah.
Welcome to Active Live for this week. We're brought to you by New Zealand On Air Music. My name is Misty and I'm very excited to welcome Fowler into the studio. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Kia ora.
How are you today?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Doing
I'm
well.
very good. I'm super excited to have you in the studio. I have a lot of questions for you. So over the next little while, we'll have some music, some yarns. I'll introduce the band a little bit. Fowler are a Pōneke-based post-punk band, recording and performing their originals, and they're still on a buzz from their recent EP release, Summit, which was released in April this year. We'll hear some tunes, and I will ask you some things. How's the reception been since the EP's been released?
Pretty good. Yeah, people seem to like it. It's which is cool because we just recorded it in my parents' shed. Jules was not here for it, so I just want to thank Jules for learning to play the songs that we wrote without him. But he was our muse.
Thanks for writing the songs for me.
Yeah.
It's the easiest job ever.
Well, that's handy. I did hear that Jules was in Spain, and I was curious to know you recorded the tracks as a three-piece band, but now you're performing as a four-piece band. And you did mention that Jules was your muse.
Yeah.
Do you feel like as you arranged those pieces and recorded them, you kept in mind that you were leaving space for a fourth musician when he came back, or as you've come into this performing season, you've had to slightly arrange it so that you can play as a four-piece band now? Like, how has that worked?
I think there's been a little bit of rearranging. I changed instruments when we recorded as a three-piece, so I played a baritone guitar instead of a whatever this is. And so it's almost been a process of kind of splitting out what would sound good as a bass line versus what's very clearly a guitar riff or whatever. But there were definitely times when I was like coming up with parts where I'd be like, what would Jules do here? Like, especially, I don't think we're playing it today, but there's the last song on the EP called Chain Tan, where basically I was just like, oh, what would Jules do? You know? So yeah.
Nice.
Pete so kindly like rewrote most of the things to suit bass, so I could kind of come in and he had more or less written it as a bass line, which was really helpful and really nice.
Yeah. I feel like, though, when we were writing it, for the most part, we were just like, Jules isn't here. Our songs sound horrible without Jules. Let's write new songs and try and make it sound good. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
Nice. Yeah, I did see when you had written who played what on your Bandcamp, you had each person. It was like Jules, Spain, and I was like asking my coworkers, is Spain an instrument that I just have like never heard of before? But I saw there was baritone guitar as well, which I've not been acquainted with the baritone guitar, so very interesting. Something I'll have to Google. But yeah, Spain is not an instrument. Spain is a place.
Spain is a place.
Yeah, well, okay. There has been I feel there's a real intensity, like a real energy to what you're performing. And I can imagine that in a live setting, it really requires a lot of energy from you as players. And I wanted to know, like, what is your process to keep up that energy, that intensity in your shows? Like, how do you go from start to finish and not tire yourselves out too much? Because, like, I feel a real energy from your music for sure.
A lot of tuning rest breaks, I would say.
Yeah.
We have to tune in between songs quite often anyway, because we play in some different tunings. And so, bit of downtime.
We also take turns, well, like we all have different songs where we do vocals each, so it kind of takes the heat off from song to song.
Nice. Yeah, I see that. So you're kind of dividing the work that way.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Wow. That makes sense, and that's answered my question there, so that's cool. I was very curious about that. All right, well, let's head into your second piece. You can introduce it, maybe.
This one is called Shortening. It is the first single off the EP, and this one's kind of interesting because this was one of the first ones we wrote when Jules left, and I think I was playing bass in it, but then me and Pete swapped because he was playing baritone, so I'm kind of playing some of Pete's ideas and vice versa.
Nice.
12 months, Hellview, no repeat. Press on. You save yourself, all but one piece. Press on. Falling victim to a piecemeal record. Press on. The warning shot that shattered
Felt it wane, slip my hands. Did you round unanswered? Felt it wane, slip my hands. ACC injury repeats. Press on. Double Rentley dips at letting fees. Press on. And on the very first night I shivered. Down to a very slight final line. Son. Dead around unanswered. Felt it wane, slip my hand. Fell asleep, short and day. 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 Fell asleep, short and day.
Welcome back to Active Life for this week, brought to you by New Zealand Music On Air. My name is Misty and I'm here with Fowler. I haven't done an introduction to the band yet, so maybe just introduce yourselves.
Kia ora, I'm Katie. I play drums.
Kia ora, I'm Jules. I'm playing bass, formerly Spain.
Kia ora, I'm Tommy. I play guitar and do vocals.
And I'm Pete. I play guitar and do vocals as well.
Wonderful. Well, that piece there was called Shortening. I have a little bit of an anecdote for you. I was at Rogue this week at a Leaving Drinks, and I was yarning with one of the people at this drinks, and said, I'm interviewing Fowler this week for the Radioactive Live to Air. And he said that someone at Rogue was in Fowler. Who was that? Were any of you at Rogue this week? Well, I
Not that I can
no.
remember
Okay,
anyway.
well then,
I was
all
there.
right.
Yeah, I was there on Wednesday.
Yeah,
was-
yeah, that would have been you. Yeah, okay, well. And then I was talking to them about it, and they said, oh, you know, that really funny song where they mention ACC, you've got to know more about why they wrote that song and what it means. And there we go. That was Shortening. What is it? What is the meaning of this song, and why is ACC such a muse for you?
I don't know. I've injured my legs a couple of times over the years, and I also work. This is some boring chat, but I work in payroll, so I do a lot of ACC claims.
Yeah.
And I don't know, on whatever day, I just had a particular disdain for our accident recovery service, which is a great service, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty relevant. Well, I'll make the connection that I also have worked in payroll and have done some ACC claims in the past. So, you know, maybe we can relate there. All right. Well, I know you have a gig tonight with Hail Meteor at Underworld Tavern.
Yep.
Yes.
And you're continuing with some other gigs. Where else are you going this weekend?
Saturday, we're playing at Porridge Watson in Whanganui.
Wonderful. I know Hail Meteor, I've seen that name kind of aligned with Fowler a few times. Like, I feel like your name's come up in conversation a lot together. But are there other bands that you're really enjoying or you're finding that you're really getting inspiration off for your own music?
I guess the band that we're going to play these gigs is called Fairlight Choir. We really like that band, and we really want to play a show with them.
Nice. All right. Well, what is it about them that is super cool to you?
I don't know. Great
Guitars.
songs, great riffs, great rhythm from Palmy. I don't know, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, it's like 3 people that we know that have all played music previously, but they're coming together, and yeah, it's a beautiful
Palmy
marriage.
Supergroup.
Palmy
Yeah.
Supergroup, and you're the Tawa Martin Supergroup, right?
Yeah.
So here you go. Perfect. Are there any non-musician influences that you have for your music? And I'm thinking, everyone may interpret this differently, but people who aren't necessarily musicians, but things that may inspire your art in different ways.
I think early on, he's not around anymore, like physically, like around Wellington, but Nathan Jones, who used to be like a Wellington local until he kind of couldn't really venture out anymore, but he has kind of served as a lyrical inspiration for me quite a lot. He used to come into the coffee shop where I work, would hang out with me when he was bored, and would, I don't know, read the Warriors score online together and stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know.
That's sweet.
All sorts for me. Just other hobbies in general. I got a few hobbies. It's inspiring.
Great. Well, that
Yeah.
is everything inspires music in so many different ways, I feel. Yeah. Well, great. And I know that you recorded this piece in Martin, this music in Martin. This is really completely different train track here, sorry. We've recorded this piece. It was with Fraser Williams, a piece EP.
Yep. Who is in Sports Dreams.
Sports Dreams.
Yep.
Is that the name of the recording place?
No, that's a band that Fraser
Oh, the
plays
band.
in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So was all of the music recorded in Martin, or was it kind of split between Martin and Tawa in?
All the music was basically all the music was recorded in Martin, but then we went back to our place in Tawa, mine and Katie's place, and we recorded some vocals and some synth there.
Nice.
But yeah, mostly Martin Man Cave in my parents' shed.
Nice. Okay, so you're Martin based for the. All right, that makes sense. I've also noticed. Again, we're just going to go completely different train track. I've got so many questions, but Pete, you are wearing some earplugs.
Oh, yes.
Is this because you feel that the music in the small room is really quite?
I don't know. I always put them on.
Yeah. Yep.
Whenever we play, I have tinnitus as well, so
Yeah.
I try to not make that any worse. But yeah, I think we all
You're
wear
wearing earplugs. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just I've noticed like the oranges,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like through our special our glass thing. I've noticed. I mean, I'm a big fan of earplugs. I wear earplugs all the time. I'm like really scared of getting tinnitus or some sort of thing. Are there any earplugs brands that you recommend? Like, what are your favorites? Because everyone has a personal favorite.
I don't like the Zildjian ones that I'm wearing right now.
Don't like them. I like them.
They're a little bit uncomfortable.
I'm wearing those too, and
All right. Are they quite pointy? I've always noticed they're quite pointy.
Yeah, they're a little bit
They're
pointy.
quite pointy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pull mine out in case it's yucky, but yeah.
Yeah, a little bit discoloured.
Yeah,
4K on the
this is being
camera.
recorded. Yeah, if it was purely for radio, I would egg you on. But
Like a really tight zoom on that shot.
I bought mine from Bunnings, so they're nothing special. I should probably buy a better pair. Might actually be able to hear bass,
I feel like there's some sort of ACC through line to this chat.
Yeah.
there is.
Yeah.
Maybe ACC should have a claim about like earplugs or be able to provide earplugs to musicians. Can they do that? Can
be
they?
great.
We
fund
should all make
earplugs?
claims for like really
Yes.
gradual hearing loss
Mm.
over our lives.
Yeah, I would love it if ACC gave all musicians some earplugs or something. I think it could save them some money. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into this third piece, and then maybe we'll have a little bit more of a of a yarn at the end. I've got a couple more things I'm really curious to know about Fowler, but take it away with your third piece.
Suck back, sit in. Don't think too much about anything. Too many thoughts. Slow down. The line I thought I crossed. Was it there? Poor choice of TV show. Muted breath, too long. Please end, please end. Too many thoughts. Slow down. The line I thought I crossed. Is this me from now on? Me from now on? Me from now on? Me from now on?
This is Active Live. My name is Misty, and I'm here with Fowler, who are absolutely killing it here. That was a piece called Please End. We also had Shortening and SB Neighbour. Fowler recently released their EP Summit and are about to embark on a couple days of touring or performing around the North Island. I was very lucky to just ask them about their favourite earplugs. If you're just tuning in, we did not like the Zildjians that much, and maybe we should find some new brands. So if you recommend anything, you know where to email. Maybe I can pass on some information to Fowler. Speaking of passing on, we have this question that each band will ask for the next band the following week. So last week, some band asked you guys a question, and I want to know who spills the most tea in your rehearsals. Gossip.
I want to say Coffee Shop Jules, maybe,
Oh,
but
yeah.
happy to be.
It's not what I want to be known for,
Uh,
though.
I've definitely spilt some drinks in rehearsal.
Wait, is this
Yeah.
the metaphor of spilling
No.
tea or literally spilling tea?
Well, you know what spelling tea means, eh?
Gossip.
I know,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right, we can take
Alright,
it
let's go
literally.
this one.
We can take it
I'm
literally.
taking it, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's up for your interpretation as a band. Maybe, yeah, okay. Well, you spilled some drinks. Hopefully, not on your very intricately set up pedals.
Yeah. Have avoided it so far.
Good. I would
Um,
not like to think that those ever get damaged. Well, if you're really curious on seeing Fowler perform, getting to know their pedal system, which I can see it from here, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's really awesome, and that's what makes part of their sound so amazing. But you've got some shows coming up tonight and tomorrow. Tell me more about that. I know we previously mentioned it, but really, where can people see you perform next?
Underworld Tavern tonight with Hail Meteor and The Blue Summer. And then Porridge Watson in Whanganui on Saturday with Hail Meteor and Dosovny.
Awesome. If you want to check them out. And finally, do you have a question that you want to ask next week's band?
What's the grossest gig you've ever played?
The grossest gig you've ever played. All right. Well, that's really interesting, and I'm excited to hear that answer. All right. Well, this has been Fowler. My name is Misty, and this is the Active Live, brought to you by New Zealand On Air Music. We are here 3:30 to 4 p.m. every week, pretty much. And I look forward to catching you next time. All right. Well, thank you, Fowler, for being here. I've really appreciated your
Thank you
time.
for having us.
Cool.
All right, and good
Thank
luck
you.
for the music. Good luck for the gig.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Active Live. Friday, 3:30. Every week a new band. In studio. Brought to you by NZ On Air.